damn, that's loud. Holy shit. Okay, guys, I just wanted to show you what a old Les Paul, 58 Les Paul sounds like through a stock 59 Bassman with the original speakers. Straight in. The only effect I was using is this cable. But man, it's loud. But it's got a tone, man. You know, I skipped the pedal board for that one. How you guys doing out there? Homeschooling number 88. Wow. 88 reminds me of being a kid, you know, driving around in East Lake, Ohio, about 15 years old, riding around with my friend Frank Rulo, Spatch, in his dad's 1968 Olds Delta 88. We call that car a tank. Good times, man. Speaking of tank, did you recognize that opening number? Anyway, I hope everybody's doing good out there. I am the number one mom. I got my number one mom cup. Man, it's been a busy, had a busy week, and I got another busy week coming. In the middle of this crazy project where I'm helping this young band from Pennsylvania make a record. I'm not like just coming like to help tone chaperone, they call it, where you hang around, bring a bunch of cool old gear and help the guys get sounds and come up with parts and stuff. You know, it's really fun. These guys are real sweethearts. It's just always, I love hanging around with young dudes in the studio. It's always refreshing for me, man. You know, I love the ideas and just the youthful aspect of all that. It's good stuff. When the record's done, I'll tell you about it. Okay. Yesterday would have been my dad's 91st birthday, man, but he died in 1971. So raise a toast to him, man. Mitch. All right, man. Let's see what we got here. We got good stuff today. All right. One guy said, "Hey, Tom, how's farmland doing?" Oh, man, you know, I haven't been in there in a minute, but I texted Eric this morning and just said, "How you doing, dude?" And he said they're hanging on by a thread, that they're still in there, and they're, you know, hoping for a recovery soon. So once again, let me thank you guys for all the cool donations and buying those silly shirts. And you guys are awesome, man. Up to almost 50,000 strong now. We're becoming an army. Uncle Larry's army. All right. And one guy said, that really is cool of you guys to help, man. Anytime you can stop in farmland, say hi to those guys, please do. One guy said, "Hey, Tom, loving the disappointed teacher mode," quote unquote. I think he was talking about when I answered that question in the last volume about when the guy said, how important do you think tone is, right? And I said, have I not made this clear? But yeah, I'm not disappointed, man. You guys are awesome. Everything's cool. I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully we're getting something out of all this, you know. A guy said, "Hey, Tom, how did you increase your chord vocabulary? Is it from playing songs and being surrounded by amazing musicians all the time, or did you study it?" It's all that shit. You know, I'll tell you this. At the risk of pissing off some people out there, I've never been a fan of the traditional jazz chord voicing stuff that you hear guitar players sometimes do. You'll notice if anybody ever starts doing that around me, I immediately leave the room when they start playing the old typical jazz chords. You know, I can't take it. Look, when it's done right by the greats, I'm in. But somebody just playing a bunch of, you know, voicings like this, you know, I can't hang, man. I'm always looking for like ways to open chords up, you know. I've said many times before, like for my piano roots, you know, any way you can stack chords in a weird way or notes in a weird way where the chord is opened up. You know, take what would normally be the third and then move it down or whatever. That's what I'm looking for with guitar voicings. Stuff, but it can't be too weird. It's got to be stuff you can use in like pop music, right? That's the thing. If it's too weird, it's just then it becomes what are we doing with that? But I like to find stuff that you can actually use in a popular music application that's unique, different. I've always been bored with the typical, you know, shapes and boxes that guitar players tend to play in, right? It's that thing. I mean, just looking for something different, And along the same lines is another question. The guy said, "Hey Tom, you're not much of a blues man, are you?" Like, look, I feel I got strong feelings about blues. Like I like blues-based music. I like when guitar players have blues roots. But no, I'm not a big blues guy. I'll tell you what kind of blues I do like. I like blues. It's like original blues, like Robert Johnson, stuff where it's like there's no form. Like if I can predict where the 1 chord and the 4 chord are going to come, then I'm out. I like blues where you just have no idea when the guy's just going to go to the 4 chord or the 1 because it's all just feeling. Any blues that's like predictable 12-bar blues, man, hell no, I can't take it. Sports bar blues, can't take it. But yeah, I like blues-based shit. Like where people have blues in their playing, but they do other things with it. Another reason, I hope I don't piss more people off there. Maybe my subscribers will go down to 0. But yeah, whatever, man. Like here's the thing. Like I remember being honest. I grew up on Beatles, and I grew up on English rock, I was on it reminds me of, like, I was on a session the other day. I told you I'm the question guy. I'm always asking questions, to my buddies and stuff, because I think it's really fun to, like, open up the floor with some interesting question that gets people talking. I said to a couple guys I was working with, I said, okay, guys, if you had the choice, when you're playing with a drummer, would you rather play with a drummer who has an amazing groove, but he's not very musical, or would you rather play with a drummer who's super musical, but he has an okay groove? And like some of the guys were like, man, I'd take the groove all day long. Groove's everything. And a couple other people said, nah, I'd go for the musical. And I would go for the musical. To me, being musical trumps all groove, trumps all everything. Like when you have song sense, that's the thing for me, song sense. You have to understand clearly like the framework of a song and how a song works, and play with the vocal and follow the dynamic needs of a song, right? Like engineers have asked me, young engineers, like, what's the most important thing for an engineer, like a young engineer, like when you're running the Pro Tools? I always say, boys, song sense. You can't be looking at a bunch of numbers on a screen. You have to know this is the verse. This is the second verse. Here comes the bridge. You got to be able to find that shit immediately. You can't be like fishing around. Like, know the arc of a song. Know the emotional ramp of a song. Know how a song works, right? And that's what I think being musical is, like this part's supposed to be real chill here. Listen to what he's singing. And then this part's supposed to have some angst and agony in it. So we got to bring that out, I like drummers that play like orchestrally, musically, and groove is great when you can get it, right? I love a good groove as much as the next guy, but to me, it's more important about being musical, and knowing how to get good sounds, right? Because some drummers can get some amazing sounds, right? And they may not have the most amazing groove in the world, but they get the sound is good, So that's important to your old buddy, your weird old uncle, Uncle Larry. Okay, another guy said, oh man, what else? We got one more here. I know we do. Oh, you know what I was watching this morning? Just happened to be on TV. That old movie Casino, man. Damn, that was tripping me out. It was so cool to see it again. What an amazing movie. I had to try to stop Marshall from watching it because he's too young to watch that. Oh, man, Joe Pesci is so good in that, man. And the set decorations on that movie are incredible. I'm a little non sequitur today, guys. Sorry. Okay, one other thing. I was going to get into two more things, if you can bear with me. I'm going to use a visual aid here. Set it up on an old Rolling Rock can to show you guys something. Let's see. See that digital tuner? Okay, I've had a million questions about guitar tuning problems. Like, how do you keep a Bigsby in tune? How do you keep millions of people asking me. So, and I think I've covered a little bit of it, but I want to say one more time, okay? See this thing right here? This white thing? The nut. That is where all your problems come from when you're trying to get a guitar in tune and it won't stay in tune, okay? Check it out. I'm going to cover this one more time and then I'm going to be done with it. These are nut files. These are what you use to file the slots in the said nut. Okay, so when you get a guitar set up, or when you set up a guitar yourself, right? I'm going to turn way down. Okay. I can't really see it very well, but there's your E string, right? You tune it to where it's in tune, right? And when a guitar is set up properly, you should be able to bend behind the nut and let it come back down, and it should still be perfectly in tune, okay? If you don't, if you bend it behind the nut and let it back down and it's not, if it's sharp at that point, that means that there's binding happening in the nut, right? String binding. And that is where all your tuning problems come from. It's never the tuners. Don't ever change the tuners on your guitar, ever. I've been playing for 40 some years, and I've only, in a couple instances, noticed that the tuners were actually faulty on any guitar. Sometimes on a really old telly, you'll find that the cloisons won't hold anymore. But these are very rare occurrence. It's never the tuners, it's always the nut. It's always the string binding in the nut. So you Bigsby the chord, you float it, and then the string binding is happening in the nut, and then the G string goes sharp, and you go, oh, this thing's out of tune, and then you bend it, and it pulls it back out, and then it goes back. It drives you mad, right? So use, pencil lead, lubricant, graphite to keep these nut slots free flowing. You want that string flowing through those nut slots like a river. You don't want any binding happening there. That's the last time I'm going to bring that up. So tuning problems, that's always the problem. It's always that. As long as your bridge is set right, your intonation, it's always just a nut. If a guitar won't stay in tune, there's no such thing as like Gibsons don't stay in tune as good as Fenders. All that shit is horse shit. Don't ever believe anybody that says that. Any guitar that's set up properly will stay in tune. Doesn't matter who made it, okay? All right, there you go. So, unless the frets are in the wrong place. Some guitars have frets just in the wrong place. They're built that way. That happens. So, you got that. Last thing, I'm going to play a riff. This is good. I'm going to bring in a new element to the show. Uncle Larry's, what do they call it? The secret trivia raffle. Okay, this is 2 pages of handwritten notes from the episodes. The last episode and this one. I'll sign them and send them to anybody who gives a fuck. If you could name this riff, the first person to name the song that this riff comes from gets a hand-signed Uncle Larry's personal notes. Check this riff out. Simple old riff. I'm probably not even playing it right, but if you know the tune, you'll know what it is. Okay. Okay? Anybody who knows that riff gets hand-signed notes from Uncle Larry. Okay, guys, take care. I'll see you next episode. Happy Sunday.